Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Overlord here, and today I want to talk about Halo and its rather split community. But we are mainly going to be taking a look at Halo 2 and Halo 3 because there are a lot of small and large changes that make each game different, and they're actually widely considered to be the best Halos. For example, with Halo 2 and Halo 3, the go-to weapon for almost every scenario was the battle rifle. If the player was an above-average player who took the time to master the weapon, then he would dominate in almost every scenario. But this was a lot more prevalent within Halo 2 than Halo 3, thanks to button combinations and the faster time to kill with the battle rifle overall. In Halo 2, the battle rifle took around 1.43 seconds to kill. But if you pair that with double shotting or BXRing, then the time to kill would be near instantaneous. This created a very large skill gap in-game between those who were good with precision shooting and those who weren't, and those who could use button combos and those who couldn't. This led to Halo 2 being the most renowned and probably the most competitive and hardest to play Halo in the series. Halo 3 followed suit with being one of the hardest Halo games to master, but there were a few key differences in the gameplay. Halo 3's gameplay was slower, it offered larger arenas to fight in, and a slower time to kill of 1.52 seconds with no button combinations, as well as having equipment spread around the map that could turn the tide of a battle, such as a bubble shield or a power drain, which could either slow down or quicken gameplay depending on how it was used. Because there were no button combinations in-game, new players have less to learn, making the game slightly easier and reducing the learning curve quite a bit in comparison to what Halo 2 had. A lot of Halo veterans did not like this at all and went back to Halo 2 believing that Halo 3 was more of a casual random game, and in some ways they were right. Halo 3 offered a lot more custom game options and game modes on top of having a Forge mode, which allowed you to create your own maps, spawning new game modes such as Jenga Tower, Indiana Jones, Hide and Seek, and many more game modes. Now, some of you may be wondering why I'm pointing out all this and drawing comparisons and contrasts in between these two games. Well, the truth is that I believe if 343 were to pay more attention to the community as a whole, then Halo 5 would be more successful in comparison to what it is now. Now, let me explain and let me pitch you an idea. Now, a lot of people do like the new movement system. I'm one of those people. But a lot of my friends don't. A lot of them find it newbie, it reminds them of Call of Duty, so they don't want to buy the game, and just a lot of other weird stuff. So what they could do is just remove this altogether. Get rid of the sprint, get rid of the boosting, get rid of the new ground pound, get rid of all that. Have another separate playlist for this. Okay? So what this does is it appeases to both sides of the community. Both sides would be happy. It's a lot like Call of Duty's classic playlist. So they have the normal playlist with a bunch of the boosting and the exo movements, and then they have the vanilla Call of Duty without all the exosuit movement. That would appease people, that would make, as again, it would make both sides of the community happy, but add on to this, make it even better. Put more emphasis on forgers, put more emphasis on the custom games community, because the custom games community as a whole has been somewhat neglected since Halo 4. Now, Halo 4 had an awful custom game and Forge. A lot of people didn't like it. Very few, in comparison to the many, actually liked it. Now, Halo 4, it cut out race, it cut out VIP, and it severely limited what you could do with the Infection game mode, because the Infected could only wield their tendril, they couldn't wield other weapons, such as an assault rifle or gravity hammer. So, forgers and custom gamers had to essentially work their way around this, so it took a lot longer to develop custom games. So, what I propose is keep the Infected game mode like it is now in Halo 2 Anniversary. That's a very good way to keep it. It's a very nice custom skin, and it looks really neat, and it works really well. But for the Forgers, what you could do is essentially give Forgers a blank canvas, a totally blank canvas, something like Far Cry 3's editing system for its map. You could choose your terrain. If you wanted it to be sandy, you could make like a sandy village, much like Sandtrap or Sandbox, and have villages spread all the way out at the edges of the map, in each of these little villages having like a little fort and an armory, and then have Infected that go really fast, or make one giant one, make a city, very empty city I suppose, and make this one area locked down. It's very heavily guarded. It's got like gates that you can open and close, has opening and closing doors that can be knocked down, and make one slow zombie, make it like Close the Door for Halo 3. That would be absolutely amazing. And then on top of this, add the ability to spawn in AI like you could in Gary's mod. That would absolutely blow people's socks off, and it would essentially just ramp up the hype train for Halo 6. Now, A lot of people say that, 343 would be considering, or the producer Microsoft would be considering about, their DLC. What would happen to their DLC? Because people would be less incentivized to buy DLC because of all this. Well, what they could do to work around this is essentially make it like Battlefield's Premium. You spend, say, $100 on day one instead of the normal $60 to buy this and be able to play the new custom game modes. This would essentially pay for all the DLC and pay for all the new stuff and all the new features that come in with this game, such as the new Forge mode and the new custom games. So that would essentially make Halo 5 the absolute best game overall. I could see this game, if they were to implement this sort of stuff, just absolutely knocking the socks off of the other Halo games. It would blow essentially every game in the market out of the water just because of how versatile it was, how flexible it was with its community, and it would appeal to just about everyone. Now, of course, there would be a few oddballs out there who wouldn't like the game, but overall, as again, it would make the whole community happy. So let me give you guys a quick little rundown of what I think the better version of Halo 5 would be. So $40 on day one or whenever you want, you get to buy a premium membership that essentially gives you all the DLC. You of course get the vanilla Forge, but with the premium membership you get the ability to go in and edit a map, just a blank canvas like you do in Far Cry 3, and add in any terrain that you want, whether it be sandy, grassy, icy, whatever. You get to edit that. You get to edit the terrain, make it really hilly, make it flat, add in buildings, add in closable and openable doors, add in AI, whatever. So essentially giving you unlimited options and making it to where you can build any map that you want. Now on top of this, for Halo 5, the actual matchmaking system, you would have one, say, playlist that has the new movement system, and then you have one playlist that doesn't. This would appeal to both sides of the competitive community and make everyone happy. Now, say you'd have on top of this, you'd have a ranked playlist for each of these. So in total you'd have 4 new playlists, or 4 playlists in total, excuse me, and it would appeal to everyone. It would make everyone happy, and hopefully it would actually start a little bit of a trend of developers wanting to put more into their game, because if a game has this much customization and this many options and a solid good multiplayer, then most likely people would start coming in from other games and branching out. Battlefielders and Call of Duty players would probably start playing Halo 5 a little bit more frequently, playing custom games with their friends, and just seeing how good the Halo 5 game is and seeing the versatility that this game offers. And let's say later down the line, DICE sees this and they start adding this stuff in. Or perhaps Call of Duty sees this and they start implementing this stuff in. Hopefully it would catch like wildfire and a lot more developers would start doing this stuff. Now, I want to know what your guys' idea of a perfect Halo game is and what you guys think Halo 5 should be like. This is Overlord signing out, and I will see you guys next time.